never goes out of style.
Swiffer's starter kit.
It's money back guaranteed. But trust me, you'll never go back to your old mop and broom again.
Baby, come back.
Swiffer Sweeper Starter Kit has dry cloths that trap and lock dirt better than a broom, and a wet cloth with a scrubbing strip for tough dried-on messes. It's 2-in-1. Swiffer cleans better than a broom and mop, or your money back.
It's just 24 days until the election, and accusations of voter fraud are now sweeping the country. One woman in Ohio talks about how she was pressured to register to vote, even though she had already registered. Take a listen.
I remember seeing this woman who was following another man, signing up the same people. I mean, it was crazy.
Do you have a number? Can you guess? 10, 100?
How many registrations I filled out? I can't even count how many registrations I filled out.
Did anyone ever say, even though you were registered, we want to encourage you to register again?
Yes, and I do.
She can't count how many times she's registered. I am joined now by John Fund, the author of Stealing Elections, and by Scott Levinson, a spokesperson for the voter registration group Acorn. Thank you, gentlemen, both for being here. I really appreciate it. Scott, let me start with you. As of this morning, there are 12 states that believe that some sort of dubious voter registration practices are happening in connection to Acorn. We hear reports in Nevada of the Dallas Cowboys being signed up, of someone's pet cat being registered. What is your response when you hear troubling reports like this?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on this morning. This is what we consider an opportunity to tell what the real story is, because it's an important story. Because even on a news show like this, you use the word dubious to describe.
If somebody's cat is being signed
please
up,
let me finish, because it's really important for the American public to know what's going on here. Acorn, along with Project Vote, registered 1.3 million people this year. We saw a level of excitement among the electorate that we've never seen before, and poor people and young people registered in record numbers. It is a matter of law that in virtually a law that if we collect voter registration data, we are obligated to turn that over to the local officials. And in virtually every case, because this is a real important point here, in virtually every case, on a weekly basis, Acorn checked proactively, flagged, and notified local officials for months about potential problem registration forms.
Okay,
what
fair
is really
enough.
curious here, one last sentence.
Yes.
What is most curious here is the timing of this. When we've been notifying state, local officials for months about this, for all this to happen in the last week is what's really curious here.
Okay, John, you obviously have done reams of research on voter registration as well as voter fraud and Acorn. What is your response when you hear that Scott thinks that the only problem is the timing with this, and he says that they have registered 1.3 million people?
Well, I think that's cause for celebration. I want more people registered too. But it is very troubling.
We appreciate that.
It's very troubling these investigations are going on in 12 states. When Acorn's offices were raided in Nevada, it was done as part of an investigation by a Democratic Secretary of State, Ross Miller. When Mr. Miller was told about Acorn's criticism of the raid, this is what he said.
But John, you're not dealing with the issue. John,
may I finish?
You're not dealing with the issue, John. Please,
may
it's
I finish?
important. You're misleading the American public, John.
Scott, quickly, what do you think the issue is? If it's not these investigations, what do you think the issue is?
No, what John is doing is misleading the American public to suggest that there's a shadow over this 1.3 million folks that got registered. What he should be doing,
fictitious
what he
names
should
are
be
being
doing
registered,
is
then maybe
celebrating.
there is a shadow over these 1.3.
And there's no doubt about it. It is in all our interest to investigate and look at any potential problem with voter registration, because what we're most concerned about is someone who wants to exercise their right to vote, someone who wants to be part of the system for the first time, goes to the polls, and as John knows very well, so often people go to the polls and they're really not on the polls, and they can't exercise their right to vote. That happens far more often, more often than anybody who registers as a football player and votes.
Let John respond. Yes,
please, John.
Scott, you're very good at filibustering, but I do have something I'd like to say.
Please.
What the Secretary of State in Nevada, a Democrat, said, Acorn's criticisms are disappointing. It's the equivalent of a suspected bank robber suggesting he was arrested because the police had nothing better to do. What the nonpartisan head of Las Vegas's election office said is that Acorn had a, quote, pathetic attempt at quality control, unquote. I've also talked to the Democratic Deputy Election Director in St. Louis, who says every time he met with Acorn, all of his concerns were simply blown away. They were completely ignored.
But, John, you're not dealing with the facts.
May I finish?
Facts matter, John.
No, I need to
I
mention
give up.
this.
I give up.
Scott, John, hold on one second. You just heard the woman whose soundbite we played. She was asked to register a dozen times. We've heard one man say that he's registered 70 times. This is overly aggressive practices by Acorn. How do you explain that?
Well, first of all, it's important for people to know that we don't pay people by the registration
We've heard that
form.
you do.
We
So
pay,
you say
we
unequivocally.
pay people. It is Acorn policy nationwide. We pay people $8 an hour. We've hired virtually 13,000 folks. 13,000 folks.
Then why are people
to do
being
this voter
asked to
registration
register
period.
dozens of times over?
When Walmart has a problem with employee theft, we don't suggest that Walmart should be charged, excuse me, John, that Walmart should be charged with larceny. That's blatantly absurd.
Why are people being asked to register so many times, Scott?
That's not correct.
It is.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that the fact is incorrect. I'm saying it's not part of Acorn policy. And if you follow the logic of John's argument, John, please let me finish. If you follow the logic, it's just blatantly absurd. We've entered silly season in politics, and John knows this is all an attempt to keep people from voting.
We're going to get your final closing points in 1 second. We're going to take a very quick break. And, of course, in about 10 minutes, President Bush is going to make a statement on the world economy, find out what global leaders plan to do about this crisis. Back in 2.
Sunday, campaign attack ads. Politics as usual, or have the candidates crossed the line? Plus, more from Sean's exclusive with the GOP's Big Ticket. Sunday on Hannity's America.
A lot goes through your mind after an accident. But with Liberty Mutual, insurance issues won't.
Man.
Because we offer unlimited rental coverage, new car replacement, and accident forgiveness to help ease your mind. And that's our policy. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Don't let diarrhea keep you occupied. Introducing Imodium Multi-Symptom Relief. It combines two swimming. Imodium. Get back out there. Don't let diarrhea keep you occupied. Introducing Imodium Multi-Symptom Relief. It combines two powerful medicines to work fast for relief of all these symptoms, so you can get occupied with giggling. Imodium. Get back out there.
Most shipping companies today make you pay fuel surcharge after fuel surcharge. Some add more than 30%. The Postal Service has no fuel surcharges. No surcharges for Saturday or residential delivery either. So unlike most others, the Postal Service won't take your money for any of those things. It's time to rethink your shipping.
I like that he has a full head of hair.
She reminds me of my English teacher.
She has a really strong aura.
Hair is coiffed all the time.
I think he's hot.
Tune to Elections 08 on demand for all the information you need on interests, issues, facts, and candidates. Elections 08 on demand. Vote smart.
Time Warner Digital subscribers tune to Elections 08 on demand on channel 1279.
Getting to the airport can be stress-free. Just call the 77s of Dial 7 Car and Limousine Service and let us get you there on time and smiling. Whether you're going to LaGuardia, Kennedy, Newark, or riding around town, Dial 7 saves you time and money. We've got a bold new look, and we're the best ride in town. Dial 7 Car and Limousine Service, 777-7777.
New York City residents are living longer than ever. At New York One, we want to take a little credit for that. With a dose of our health and fitness reports, you get up-to-date information about the newest medications, the latest advancements in technology, and tips on how to lead a healthier life. Watching New York One might be just the prescription you need. Hey, it couldn't hurt. The Health and Fitness Reports with Kaffi Drexel, only on New York One.
The Health and Fitness Report is sponsored by Maimonides Medical Center.
Yeah, this is a Fox News alert. We've just gotten word from the White House that the president will be speaking on the economic crisis in under 2 minutes. Stick around for that. In the meantime, I want to go back to John Fund. He, of course, is the author of Stealing Elections. Scott Levinson is also here with us. He's a spokesperson for Acorn. John, I want to go to you. I want to have you finally wrap this up and respond to everything you've heard Scott say today. It is not policy of Acorn, he says, to have people register to vote repeatedly. Hold that thought, John. I'm sorry. President Bush has just taken the podium.
Productive discussion with finance ministers of America's partners in the G7, Canada, France, Germany, Great Britain, Italy, and Japan. I'm pleased to be with Prime Minister Juncker of Luxembourg, who is the president of the Eurogroup of countries, Managing Director Strauss-Kahn of the International Monetary Fund, President Zelek of the World Bank, Chairman Draghi of the Financial Stability Forum. Thank you all for coming.